what we expect in terms of hurricane force winds. Now, I think this is still from the previous advisory. The NAC does update these maps, and I would think shortly we'll have a chance to see how this size of the hurricane force winds will be impacted by the change maybe in speed or by strength. But let's not minimize the threat here. This is a big hurricane. It's a strong hurricane, and it is coming our way. We're just trying, we're just trying to limit the damage. I think that's a really good way to describe it. We're not going to miss it. We're not going to wake up on Monday and say, oh, look, it went in another direction. No, but what we might be able to say is it nudged enough one way or another way, or weakened a little bit more than anticipated, and maybe instead of a 4 or a 3, maybe we have a 2.
Hey, what's up, Hot Sauce?
Significantly less damage to
the
area.
Event isn't that bad.
Still power outages, but you normally don't get a lot of damage with homes, single-family dwellings, especially ones that are built decent, or at least within the last 20 years, or that had window covering, shutters, or plywood. So if you're in a mobile home, we will say this again, you shouldn't be if you're in an evacuation area. With a major hurricane coming, a big hurricane coming, you got to get out. By the way, somebody on Facebook asked me a great question. They said they're evacuating. And they said, should we turn off our electricity and our water? And Justin and I did not know the answer, so we Googled it. And according to the FEMA site, yes, you are supposed to turn off your main water and your electricity. So there you go. If you haven't evacuated, and maybe you're going to do it first thing in the morning, directly from the FEMA site, that's what you're supposed to do. Hurricane winds will continue to extend up the west side of the state and eventually weaken as it rolls into the panhandle. So folks who have kids at FSU, FAMU, you won't have nearly the worries that folks maybe who have folks at UF or kids at UF, because even though it's a little bit farther to the east, I think the storm's going to be stronger when it passes Alachua County to the west, as opposed to areas up in the panhandle. Index for power outages, it's a given. Have a backup. Whether if you don't have a generator, then have some lights, have some flashlights, some high-powered flashlights. It's going to be scary tomorrow night when it's loud and it's dark. So if you can, have something to try to maybe make it a little bit easier on you, because those 6 to 8 hours in any given spot where the winds will be the worst, starting south and working north, that's not going to be a fun time. I showed this map a couple of minutes ago. Tropical storm force winds, yes, there's no question about it. But this was something that I found very interesting in terms of hurricane force winds. There is still purple 100% down to the south, but as you get a little bit more to the north, at least at this point in time, those are 90%. And I don't think that has to do with the distance and time anymore. It could be in the southern counties, but I do think at the very least we're looking just, again, a little bit westward.
Yeah, I don't live in Florida.
Over the last half hour, 45 minutes, and on satellite for the last couple of hours. Surge, still going to be a big issue. If you don't know what that is, it's just kind of a bubble of water, if you will. A storm, especially a sizable storm, kind of pushes the water as it goes along. And what happens is eventually, in our area, what makes us so susceptible to surge is because we have a very low shelf. What does that mean? Well, when you walk out in the Gulf and you're walking out on the beach, it takes a long time for you to start getting lower and lower and lower.
That's not funny, Link.
Because the shelf is kind of shallow. So if you're pushing water from a deeper source and all of a sudden that base is higher, what happens? The water will rise very quickly. So that's why just geographically our area is susceptible and prone to surge. Why? That's why we have it with a tropical storm that may not seem like much of a tropical storm, but we can still get a lot of water and surge coming in because of the unique geographical makeup of our coastline. 3 to 6 foot storm surge areas expected from Pasco north along the Gulf, 4 to 8 in the bay itself, and 6 to 10 down south, probably from Venice to Sarasota area. And by the way, that's pretty much where the last track had this storm tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Still category 3.
I don't care if he's talking smack. He could get killed by this.
Just west of Sarasota, Venice, in that general area. Storm warnings, storm surge warnings remain in effect for the entire duration of this event. I have no doubt about that. And that means they'll probably begin to taper off by maybe midday Monday, because our high tide is going to be, go figure, like we need this. Of all the things, we happen to come in at a high tide that's 2.7, 2.5, 2.2, a little bit lower in Sarasota. That just means how high it is. And typically, on a lot of days, you have a tide of 1.5 feet, 1.2 feet. Low tide, if it would come in and then, it would be obviously even better. But unfortunately, that's not the case. So we're going to have to deal with a higher tide than normal and that surge. And lastly, I'm going to show you the winds coming in from the south. So tomorrow morning, mid-morning, we'll start to have gusts up to about 40, 45. You'll still be getting around, but it'll be a little bit tougher, especially Sarasota, Hardy, DeSoto Highlands. And then by lunchtime into the early afternoon, you start to see winds gusting in the 60, 65 range, mid-40s to around 50 across our core counties from Pinellas, Hillsborough and Polk County, Pasco, Citrus, Hernando, Sumter. You're probably going to be able to hang out at least a few more hours. Most of your day in our northern counties won't be too terribly windy. Well, it's going to be windy, but at least it won't be one damaging winds. You can probably get around. But by the afternoon and evening, later in the afternoon and evening, forget about it. This is when it gets real. When you start looking at winds gusting well over 100 miles an hour across the southern counties overnight, the numbers try to go down just a little bit as the models are hinting at a bit of weakening. If this were to verify of wind gusts of 90 in Tampa, which means sustained would be 80, I would take that in a second right now. Compared to a 4 or a 5, if this were to verify, we would be very, very fortunate. And then by Monday morning, I suspect we'll start to see things tapering off by lunchtime, and then tropical storm force winds continue. So these winds, as we said, this is some of the numbers that we're talking about. These are the new numbers. They're just coming in. This will catch your attention. Shay, did you see these? These are pretty scary. This is 3 a.m. for Citrus, Hernando, and Pasco County. All of a sudden, Brooksville showing a number of 97. Inverness, 97. These are updated numbers. Remember, about a half hour ago, I was telling you these came out blank, and I had a feeling the models were crunching some new numbers and coming up with some new. So this is from 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. on Monday, and then things begin to wind down by about 7 or 8 o'clock. Still, though, strong tropical storm. In terms of Pinellas and Hillsborough, all right, Sunday afternoon, Sunday night, you notice some 90s in there around midnight, and then by 2 a.m., mid-70s to mid-80s from Largo, Clearwater, Tarpon Springs, Palm Harbor, Seminole, Safety Harbor, Oldsmar, over to West Chase, East Lake, back toward Trinity, and then east to Tampa, Carrollwood, Thenona-Sassa, Lutz, Plant City, Valrico, Brandon, Apollo Beach, Fish Hawk.
Trump has nothing to do with it. You think Hillary would be any better? No. She'd be worse.
And that's at 2:30, and then I would think it would start to wind down between about 4 and 6. So in looking at the time frame on this, and I think, Shay, you probably noticed this too, it's a little faster. Because a lot of these, even the Citrus County, they were leaning until about 8, 9 o'clock Monday morning. This had the bulk of the rough winds in Citrus and Hernando at about 3 to 4 a.m., 3 to 5 a.m. So, which is interesting because the storm has actually slowed down in the last couple hours. It's down northwest at 6, so we'll see. Polk County, mid-70s at 1 a.m. That's the overnight hours from tomorrow night. And then Hardy, DeSoto, and Highlands. Obviously, this was one that was showing some very serious numbers, and it still is from Sebring over to Lake Placid. That's Sunday evening. That's not the overnight
I'm good,
hours.
Blade. I'm good.
Lastly,
How about
from
you?
Bradenton, Manatee, Sarasota County, winds in the upper 80s to low 90s. This is Sunday night. And then in the overnight hours, it'll probably begin to improve about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. So we'll look at some more of these numbers. Of course, we continue to get recon fixes. Hurricane hunters out of Lakeland and a lot of other places are just flying in and out, constantly getting us updated information to really try to pinpoint the fixes that we can get so they'll know exactly within 10, 15 miles of where this storm's headed by tomorrow night. Guys?
All right, thanks, Dennis. We'll check back with you again soon. Well, we're just getting some breaking news into our newsroom right now. A dire situation right now developing in the Gulf.
A disabled fishing boat stranded 85 miles off the St. Pete coast. And Hurricane Irma is approaching, of course. ABC Action News anchor Paul LeGrone here with more on that, Paul.
Yeah, we're just getting this information coming into the newsroom, guys. Not a particularly good situation, obviously, given the conditions. And, of course, we're tracking Hurricane Irma to boot. And we're getting word that a woman is stranded on a disabled fishing boat with a broken transmission about 85 miles southwest of St. Petersburg. Actually have the woman's father on the phone with me right now, Cherokee Olarte. Mr. Olarte, what have you heard from your daughter, and what did she tell you?
It's because I'm just trying to relax and watch this and just chill. So I'm not talking the same.
We immediately asked for coordinates so we could relay it to the Coast Guard. We got most of the coordinates correctly before we got disconnected. And then we relayed that to the Coast Guard. And when we started telling them about it, they were immediately already aware of the situation. They had already talked to our daughter. And they were already in the process of getting an aircraft secured to go airlift them out.
Yeah, and sir, I don't know if you know this or not, and maybe you're privy to this information, but we made some calls and we're being told the Coast Guard has sent an aircraft from Mobile, Alabama, and New Orleans. They've got to refuel, I believe it's in Pensacola, and then they're going to be going down to rescue your daughter. This is, I'm told, a complicated rescue operation, but are you being told that that's the case, that they're on their way right now?
Yes, we did get that information. They had to get one from Mobile because their Tampa or the Florida operations did not have the fuel to do it, so they were going to get a plane from New Orleans, so they'd have to refuel. I mean, from Mobile.
Right.
And it's in New Orleans, but it was one or two of one or the other. Then they were going to refuel and then head down. And then we had given them the coordinates, and they did ask that if we did manage to reach our daughter again, or she reached us, if we could have her turn on it's like a beacon in the boat,
right?
I'm going on a long drive
boat,
tomorrow.
Which is good. Every boat should have that. Let me just ask you, as a father,
I don't feel
how
like
concerned are you right now?
Very concerned, really. I mean, I don't know why she's out there on a boat in the Gulf, but it was very. I mean, we were not aware of it until we got the call, and like I said, the call was very, very brief because when she said what the issue was, we wanted to get the coordinates, and we weren't even able to fully get that. And so when we did talk to the Coast Guard, we mentioned their names. The sergeant or whoever it was came on the line from the dispatcher, and he said that he was aware of it. He wanted the coordinates. I gave
everyone
them
in Florida.
And they said
GG. Let's just say you're kind of dead.
Do a time frame on when they might be able to get to her and get her off that boat?
The only time frame they had given me was when they last called. They said it would take about an hour to get the aircraft ready.
Y'all gonna die if you're on the island, so
on that load, they've already got the aircraft on
if
the
you
way,
honestly could leave the island and you have money and you're just choosing not to save a business, just leave, just die, because if you're gonna choose a business over your life, that's messed up.
But without it on, it makes it a little harder for them to find them. So,
right, here we are at midnight, and obviously time is of the essence here. Do you have communication? Does she have a satellite phone that she can talk to you?
She did have a phone, but we've tried to call it back, and she called only the one time. We have not had any other communication.
And you believe that phone is still working, but maybe the signal is going in and out?
It may be. We did leave a voicemail on it, so that we're telling her to turn on the EPIRB if she gets the message.
Right, and that's critical, really, to turn the EPIRB on at this point and send out that signal so that help could be on the way. Help is on the way, but just one extra...
It makes it easier,
Easier to find her. And, I'm working out the math in my head here. Here we are at midnight, Saturday night, and if they can get to her, in the next few hours, certainly by the morning, that would be great. Obviously, she knew about Hurricane Irma, correct?
Yes. When they went out in the boat, from what we understand, when they went out in the boat, they thought the hurricane was going to be on the East Coast.
Okay.
But it never turned.
Yeah, that's sad.
It kept going west. So.
Well.
Now, we thought they might have came back in, but we found out they're still out there when we got the phone call.
I know this has got to be gut-wrenching. I'm a father myself, and I can't imagine what you and your wife are going through right now. My heart goes out to you, and we're going to do everything we can. I know we're going to do everything we can to get the word out so that at least it's out there, and the more people know, and that hopefully this can get resolved quickly. So we'll keep everyone up to date about this situation. And Mr. Olarte, thank you for taking the time, guys. That's obviously not what you want to hear. That's a scary situation, and I know they know that on the other end of the line, the mother and father that are going through this. So fingers crossed and prayers sent that the Coast Guard gets there and they get out of that situation. But at least they've got a signal. The EPIRB's critical that you send that out and they can get there and find them.
Yeah. praying for them too. Thank you, Paul. Yeah, thanks, Paul.
Got to be some rough waters out there too. It's slowly starting to get pretty choppy out there. All right, so people are learning a hard lesson tonight when they try to fill up their cars.
That's right. Not a lot of gas out there. And ABC Action News reporter Heather Lee joins us now live with why looks can really be deceiving. Right, Heather?
Absolutely, Wendy. You can see this entire gas station is filled with cars, but guess what? None of them are going to get gas tonight anyway. I don't know if they're planning on filling this gas station up overnight, but it doesn't seem like that's the case because the inside is also closed. Nobody is here. Now, it's deceiving again because all of the lights are on. There's no bags on any of the pumps here. And what happens is people walk up, they're able to put in their credit card information, slide their card, they're able to select one of the tanks and to try to pump, but as soon as they start to pump, nothing comes out. So that's kind of the issue that people are dealing with right now. I will tell you that a truck came through probably about an hour ago, and they were able to get diesel gas. So diesel is still available here. Now, of course, not a lot of cars and trucks have diesel, which may explain why there's still diesel left over here. But again, these other tanks are seemingly dry. And again, we've seen so many people out here. It seems like they're still trying to stock up on gas, but also supplies maybe inside, people trying to get in there, but nobody, again, is able to get inside. As far as traffic goes around here, it's been pretty steady. I've seen a lot of cars on US 19, which is right here. This is Tampa Road over here. I've seen a lot of cars driving on the road tonight, probably, again, going from gas station to gas station, trying to find those supplies and last-minute gas. But we've also been looking around for gas at certain gas stations, and we've found zero gas. So we were hearing from a man that there might be gas at a station on US 19 and Sunray in Pasco County. I'm not 100% familiar with where Sunray is, but we're hearing that there were lines and that there was being gas pumped at that station. Might be something to try. Of course, on my Facebook page, I've been reaching out to folks. Anyone that knows where people can get gas, they can let me know. I'll make sure to spread that word as well. So again, we're just going to continue to monitor the situation out here, see if we can find some gas stations for folks. And I'm going to go ahead and toss it back to you guys for now.
All right, Heather, thank you so much. I'm just getting word also from our producer, Chris May, about Pasco County. And apparently Pasco County shelters are now still open. They have capacity, and they do take pets. So if you know folks in Pasco County who are looking for a shelter and they're afraid to evacuate, let them know there's plenty of room and that they can bring their animals along as well.
Yeah, I tweeted out a list of locations just a short time ago on there that are pet friendly. You can take them to the ones that are still open. It's up there for you if you need it. If you need that list, that exact list.
All right, perfect. Well, it is getting late. It's after midnight now. Many people finally settling into the shelters right now.
Let's go live now to ABC Action News reporter Eric Waxler at one of those shelters in Pasco County. Eric, we need you to talk in your library voice because I know some folks are probably trying to get a good night's sleep.
Yeah, we feel a little bad talking right now because so many people are trying to sleep, but we have a really wonderful moment that happened here. About an hour ago, we were talking with Fran right over here who came to the shelter. She's 94, but didn't have any kind of bedding to bring here, and you do have to bring your own supplies. The shelter is open, but she did not have any kind of air mattress. We put the word out there, and sure enough, a man named Douglas just came by, dropped off this air mattress. These nice young men are helping blow it up. There's also some bedding, and so Fran is going to have a comfortable place to rest for tonight. And Fran, can you believe it?
No, I can't believe it. It's a wonderful thing. America is beautiful. I really think so. I never heard of this.
Whoa, 94, that's how old my grandma is.
Wonderful, wonderful people. Thank your mother, whoever she is. I'm sure it's the woman that thinks of it all the time.
That's right. We got a nice group of young men who are helping here. But how about that? We've got an air mattress for Fran. But if you look around, we have noticed so many elderly people that have come here and do not have any kind of bed to sleep in, don't have an air mattress, don't have any kind of sleeping bag. They're sleeping, basically sitting up in a folding chair. And so, not that we're asking for everyone to come out and bring air mattresses here, but anybody that can help out, and especially in the Newport Richey area. Again, we're at River Ridge Middle School, that has any kind of bedding that they can bring for these people, our frailest citizens who are here seeking shelter, but definitely in a more comfortable place to lay down here for tonight and tomorrow night as well. So really great to see, and we're we're glad that Fran is going to be resting comfortably tonight. Well, as comfortably as can be expected under the circumstances. Live in Newport Ridge, Eric Waxler, ABC Action News.
Yes, and we hope she gets a good night's sleep, as so many in that area do. I have some breaking news right now. ABC News just confirming that 200,000 people here in Florida have now lost power. 200,000. And of course, Hurricane Irma still not even completely anywhere near our area. Down in South Beach, we saw the winds picking up, we saw the waves kicking up, but we still have 24 hours before it really truly hits. But 200,000 people already without power. So if you're one of them and you're watching, you are not alone, of course.
And that's the reason they tell people to evacuate, because you have no idea how long that power is going to be out. If you have a chance to go somewhere where you're going to be more comfortable for a few days, that's why they tell you to evacuate, for obviously the dangerous reasons too, but then for the uncomfortable reasons, because that could be days, if not weeks, when you're talking about power there. So.
Right, and when you have no air conditioning, even no fan to plug in,
Florida in
it
September.
gets hot,
Yeah.
90 degrees plus. Okay, so in anticipation of the high winds from Hurricane Irma, drawbridges right now in Sarasota County have been closed to all marine traffic.
Yeah, heading down to downtown Sarasota with our Jake Peterson, where it's a ghost town probably at this hour, Jake.
Oh, 100%. It's been a ghost town for a while. Take a look. I mean, this would be busy still on a Saturday night here in Sarasota. Lots of bars and restaurants here on Main Street. You see most of them are boarded up, things like that. We do have one guy here. I do want to bring in Garrett. We met you a few minutes ago. Good morning.
How you doing? How you doing?
I guess it is morning now. You know, and we saw you were up and down here on Main Street. What are you doing out here right now?
Well, there's no cars and everything's all boarded up. What else is there better to do?
Now, tell me, what's your plan? I know, the winds are going to start picking up. You're going to get those hurricane force winds. What are you going to do?
Oh, well, my house is all boarded up and everything, so I'll be home here in a bit and just try to wait out the storm.
Do your parents know you're out here? Are they worried about you at all?
They might know I'm out here. I'm not really sure.
So you were saying, what were you kind of doing to prepare over the last few days or hours?
Just getting water from wherever I could find it, filling up on gas, and getting plywood and boarding up.
And talk to me about the weather conditions. I mean, it really feels like it's starting to pick up, right?
Yeah, Sarasota is usually really hot, and it's cooled down. It's real windy. It's coming.
All right, I'll let you get back to it.
I don't know.
So, the other thing, too, is we were saying, we were just talking to Garrett, the conditions really are picking up. It's been getting really busy, or really windy, rather. Now, I also want to talk about the shelters. A lot of people have been evacuating. Zones A, especially, some in Zone B, because that's a voluntary evacuation. We're getting word 8,000 people in 10 shelters here in Sarasota County. Also, some of those Sarasota County residents went up to Manatee County if they were on the north line there. So we also know that shelters in Manatee County are filling up. Some of them, at least 5 of them, are at capacity in Manatee County. And they said they've been opening shelters all day long. And here in Sarasota County, they hope everyone who needs shelter has found shelter. Reporting live here in downtown Sarasota, Jake Peterson, ABC Action News.
Jake, thank you. We're getting some more breaking news. This is from Pasco County, and they are looking for ham radio experts. I know our own Marvin Tarver, who's an executive producer for us here at ABC Action News. He's one of them, but they need 20. They need 20 volunteers right now to call the Pasco County Sheriff's Office probably. And if you know how to work a ham radio and you have one, especially a mobile one.
Okay, guys, I'm going to end it right here.
Capable,
if you live in Florida, stay safe out there. Guys, just get to a shelter, the safest place possible.
Help to rescue those who are still out there in harm's way. So again,
I'm gonna head off to bed. Hopefully you guys, if you guys are in Florida, get a good night's sleep. And then get out of there. I know flights are booked and loads are just crazy, but try your best, because it's better to try your best than to forget the rest. That's a saying. AKA, it's better to try your best than to just die, just forget your life. It's better to try. Yeah, guys, but thank you for watching. Have a good night. Yes, stay safe again, like I said.
We've already noticed some wind start to pick up right now, but once those